This week on Barbell Shrug, we interview the two most diesel dudes in the NPFL, Sam Dancer and Danny Nichols. Yeah!
Barbell Shrugged is brought to you by you. To learn more about how you can support the show, go to barbellshrug.com and sign up for the newsletter.
Real smooth, like you're on the radio.
Smooth, Sammy D, boy.
Welcome to Barbell Shrugged. I'm Mike Bledsoe here with Chris Moore and CTP behind the camera. We're in Las Vegas at the NPFL Combine. We are joined by two of the strongest men in the NPFL and probably CrossFit as well. We have Danny Nichols. So what's up?
What's
and
up, guys?
We have Sammy D, as you call him.
Sammy D.
Sam Dancer. Also known, both these guys are, like, if you follow them on Instagram or follow them on YouTube or wherever, I've been seeing these guys lift big weights and do things like crush King Kong for a long time.
I haven't done King Kong in a while.
You haven't done it?
Oh, we got to go
It's
head
been
to
a
head.
while since you've done it. But I saw it. That was like one of the first videos I ever saw of you. You did King Kong. I was like,
What'd
that
you
guy
do
like
it in?
fucking crushed King
Yeah,
Kong.
he's at a competition. I think it's 150. But I
It
go,
was
I go
fast.
sub 130.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, before we go any further, make sure to go to barbellshrug.com. Sign for the newsletter. All right, now that was all of our commercials.
Oh,
All of
yeah.
it. That was it.
All right.
All right, now we can move on to the meat and potatoes. All right, so Danny, you're out of the OPT camp.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct?
Yes, OPT.
So you've been following OPT for years. You're signed with the Phoenix Rise
Yes.
out of Phoenix.
Phoenix, baby. Yeah.
Go
Yep,
Phoenix.
In Scottsdale out of Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sam, you do I know this
Go
right?
for it.
You're conjugate. You do like conjugate method.
Yeah.
That's how you got so fucking strong.
Official on Team
Or were you
Conjugate,
just
right?
like super fucking strong, and then that's kind of how you train now?
I played collegiate football.
Uh-huh.
I was pretty stupid strong in college, but I didn't really know it as being really unproportionate at the time.
You didn't realize how strong you were compared to other people.
Well,
you just thought you were normal.
I knew I had.
Everybody jacked as fuck.
I knew I had strengths, and then I got to conjugate, and realized like I didn't have an ass or hamstrings.
Oh, was it the typical? You bench a lot, you fucking do a little bit leg pressing or whatever, but that was your extended
like
training.
I had a great anterior just with sprinting and football. So just being on my toes, that was something that was really, really easy for me, and
Yeah.
I built up a lot of volume in the past 12 years of playing ball. So just basically getting the conjugate, working on my back, working on my glutes, my hamstrings, and like when I got there, a glute ham raise, I almost fell on my face. Or like
Yeah, pretty common, right?
Reverse hyper. I think I was shot for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like you were right for that kind of training because one, you needed some things to be brought up, so weakness targeting was fucking perfect for you. But it also had this huge background of training.
Yeah.
You did put a lot of reps in, a lot of work, so you weren't just jumping into that style
No,
of training
no.
right off the bat.
No, and I had a conjugate style system in college. Never really took the time to understand it for what it really was. So I had a good background, and I had a good foundation to build on top of that allowed me to kind of jump. Because I've only been doing CrossFit for about a year and a half, 2 years almost.
Jesus.
So I had
you got a lot more monstrous things to accomplish.
had a real good foundation, like jumping into it. Just trying to continue to, I don't know, just become a more skilled athlete. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this balance of, like, the NPFL and CrossFit. Like, do I start to specialize so I can just, like, we can just slay
Just
in
be
the NPFL?
powerful
We're slaying.
motherfuckers.
I would like to see you. I want to see you slay more.
I wanna see-
Fucking great for the fans.
We were talking about this with another guest earlier. I see like 10% of the people competing in NPFL also having the domains necessary to compete at the CrossFit Games level, and probably vice versa. But I think you're going to start seeing a bigger spread as time goes on, and guys like you are going to flourish in the NPFL just because you're so powerful. Probably it looks to me like you're both very powerful, and when it gets down to like
Captain Obvious
60 minute wads, you probably don't fare as well as a smaller.
Well, keep
guy.
in mind too, though, like we've still we come from a CrossFit background, so we've been doing this inclusive training. So like, you've
been training long, but I
wouldn't sell me or Danny out really to say that like we couldn't be great CrossFitters. Like I think we would have that potential to be great CrossFitters, but I definitely think that this NPFL thing is going to suit us really well.
Yeah. Not that you couldn't be good CrossFitters, but like this is much easier for you to be great at.
Yeah, it's too hard to be good at CrossFit. There's too much volume. Like this, we can
play to your strengths, man. Fuck
it's
that
more
shit.
fun, that the volume's lower. It's going to be better on the body, and I feel like we're going to do.
There you go.
We're going to be better at what we're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I mentioned that you were Phoenix Rise, Danny, and Sam. You're with San Francisco Fire, but you've been living in Ohio. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
So are you going to move to San Francisco?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So have you moved there yet, or
No.
what's the status there?
Me and my wife, we're on a games team together.
And you guys fucking crushed it, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah, we were there.
Like, I don't think it was it wasn't much of a competition, really, was it?
Dude, it was a lot of fun. It was really
Yeah.
exciting. But we're gonna head out to the games, and then we're fairly recently wed. Our 1 year was about a week
congrats,
ago.
man.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah.
So after the games, we're gonna spend about 7 days to ourselves, and then that'll land us on like August 4th, which is when like we all report for like our physicals and such.
Yeah.
So then it's gonna be.
It's so
game
legit.
time.
It's like the start of football season or something. And the first of its kind. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't fucking wait for it to kick off.
Dude. The more and more like it really starts to get real when you hear Tony talk about it.
Yeah.
But like just my wife called me last night and she's like, dude, I was watching it live stream. She's like, it's gonna be real. This is a real deal. Like it's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
It's real and different in a very positive way. Like we got to talking about how this compares to CrossFit or whatever. It's like it's very distinct. It's gonna be very new. It's gonna trigger a lot of different approaches to training. You got cool little radically different things that aren't the same at all. Like a coach screaming at your ass on the sideline. I saw that yesterday. That was the most cool moment I saw. Was a coach got up in somebody's face like, "Fuck, man, come on!"
It reminds
I said,
me of
"Do this."
football.
It's just like football.
Not only that, the camera
Or
caught
basketball,
that
whatever.
action. The camera caught that interaction, and watching it on the jumbotron or in one of the rooms back here, it looks like I mean, not only is it actually happening on the grid here, but the person at home is experiencing the intensity as well.
And that person at home might not know shit about CrossFit. Even as popular as that is, they're going to be totally isolated from all this, and they're going to see a big, awesome rig, color, awesome, fast-paced action. They go, maybe I should go to my local box and fucking lift some weights.
You don't have to know much about anything to be attracted to this.
It's going to be good for everybody. That's what I think.
Yeah, and it's intense and it moves fast. If you blink, you might miss something.
Yeah, it is
really,
fast.
Really exciting.
Yeah,
really,
but
really exciting.
even if you blink and do miss something, you look up on the screen and they've got the numbers counting, and you can tell who's ahead and who might not be ahead. And
it's
things
crazy
like that.
how on top of it they are.
Dude, it was so much fun. I was watching yesterday during one of the exhibition matches, and they were going, and I was watching them, and I'm like, and I got a little confused about who might be ahead, and all I did was look over to the screen.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I got it now. It was like, it only took a moment to be caught up with what was going on, just from that visual representation up there.
Definitely. You get caught up in an exciting moment on one side, and then you forget where you're at. But looking back up at the screen definitely will put you back on track.
Danny, what's your background? I mean, we talked to Sam. Sam's got football and kind of gravitated towards CrossFit after that. How about you?
Yeah. I did some football growing up. I played football in college, and I always did Olympic weightlifting. My friend Yash Fay was my coach.
Oh, wow.
And he trained me with that, and I always wanted to be better at football, so I want to be more explosive with Olympic weightlifting, and I did that. Went to college, played football, tried out for the NFL, and it didn't work out, and came back, did a bodybuilding competition.
You probably thought you were
I saw that photo.
Yeah, it's
You
a
look
good photo.
good,
Yeah, it's a good photo, but it just wasn't for me. The diet, the lifestyle is like, this isn't for me. I can't do it.
Was that a benefit to you, though, that background, that experience?
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Muscle mass is helping you now.
Definitely is an experience. In dieting hard and just.
And most CrossFitters don't know what it's like to actually diet hard.
Me and Danny got to talking, and we both have like really similar stories. Like we did the football thing. We're like, oh shit,
This is not working.
Yeah,
What are we gonna do?
We're so competitive. It's like, what's next? What could we do next?
And then we both
football's
did.
done.
He did bodybuilding. I did a physique show, and then so like you could.
Did you wear the board shorts
Yeah,
or
he
were
did
you
the
in trunks?
the skinny
Oh,
mini, right?
no.
The skinny mini. Yeah.
You know what though? Even though I'm not one to make fun of physique athletes, because I have a lot of respect for bodybuilders. But if you're wearing board shorts,
Yeah.
I wore the.
I didn't know they did that with physique challenges.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and
I
lost
wore
like
the
70
Speedo.
pounds. So I played
dude.
football like you were like 270, weren't you?
No, I got up to 270 when I took time off.
What do you weigh now?
245.
Jesus.
to use some perspective, Chris Moore is 270
Yeah, about
right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
At my heaviest, I was probably not as well built as you at 270, but I got to 370. I know how it is.
Oh,
good
370.
Yeah, like my powerlifting days. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I know all the guys in Ohio. I competed and trained with the guys at Westside for a long time and did that whole thing. It was a great experience. Yeah, man. But so you probably thought when you got through with your run at football, like took a shot at the NFL, like, well, maybe my shot at being a competitive athlete or professional athlete's gone.
Yeah, I was like, this is done, and then I was lost. All my friends that I went to school with were in a trade or had a great job, and all I did was I had a good body. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with this body now?
Yeah. No brains.
No.
No brains, just brawn.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
All body. I was like, okay. Well, I have to do something with his body. So I did that bodybuilding thing, and I was like,
You've been great, like in a
This
fucking
was a-
Roman Legion or something.
Yeah.
Crush heads.
I know. I was like, what am I going to do? I got to figure this out, And then I moved home, and I went back.
Where was home?
I'm from Santa Fe, California.
Okay.
The Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I moved back home. I was in LA at the time when I did the bodybuilding thing. Moved back to the Bay Area, and I was like, all right, now what? So I tried I tried some football, semi-pro football, and you had to pay to play, and people were getting injured out there, and I was like, it's not fun. It's
What league
fun.
was that?
It's fun.
What league were you trying to go up? It was a local thing or
Yeah,
arena
so
football
it
or
was a
something?
local thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was
Dangerous.
not put together. I was like, this isn't for me. And then I got back into Olympic weightlifting with my friend Yasha, and he was training at a TJ's gym in Santa Fe, and that's where I started doing some CrossFit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it just, I went to met Marcus Philly there, and he's been doing it for a while, and we had a team, went to the games and had some fun, and then I was like, I want to try to go individual, and James Fitzgerald invited me out to OPT in Scottsdale, and I was like, didn't think twice. I moved out, and
Were you the biggest
the rest
athlete he
is
had
history.
up to that point for CrossFit? I mean,
I think I'm the biggest
Size-wise.
athlete. I think I'm just the
yeah, I mean,
biggest.
like,
Hey,
he must look at you like, what
If
kind
I'm
of,
not
what kind
the
of
biggest,
experiments
I'm
can I
going to get
do?
bigger.
Yeah.
So I am the biggest.
so you guys, I heard you guys were up till 8 a.m.
He tried to reel me
Yeah,
in.
no, I mean, yeah, we were up. It was
Fucking party
So
animals, man.
you didn't have
It was
anything to
kinda
do
mellow.
today. You guys did an exhibition match yesterday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
so-
you didn't have anything to do today. But the combine,
We have
you guys
stuff to
don't.
do.
You
So,
guys
yeah.
don't participate
We
in the
have-
combine. Y'all were here just to
No,
put on a
yeah.
show, and you guys did a fantastic job
Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Could you guys take off your shirts like you did yesterday during
Yeah,
the
I mean,
exhibition
well,
match?
Did you
We're gonna-
how he took mine off?
Yeah, yeah.
The jump
There's a
start.
special technique. First, you got to wring the sweat out so it doesn't stick, and then just peel it off.
Pop it off.
Oh yeah.
So
we
wait,
got
I'm
special
not,
technique
I'm not
for
your
sure.
first.
I mean, yeah.
Bro, I
of
thought
it.
that was our moment,
I
man.
thought of it on the spot. To be honest with you.
That could be your move, like your
And then-
WWE style move. You
Oh, yeah.
fucking score a touchdown here on the grid, and you rip that shit off, and the crowd goes
Yeah,
wild, man.
yeah. And then I was gonna throw it into the crowd, but I was like, man, if this is his only
My
shirt,
only
then
shirt.
what? Then what? Because he's not gonna be able to get it back.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna. I mean, who knows who'd get that thing? Frame that.
Hey,
puppy
you
up.
guys have a little bit of a bromance
That's
going
Sammy
on.
D over there. Yeah.
It
It-
was
yeah,
it was
it's good.
immediate.
Yeah.
It was like
You guys just connected.
Yeah. And it was dangerous. Sam said he's like, man, he's like, I could see this being dangerous. We should probably only hang out on the grid. I was like, I mean, let's see how the grid goes, and then we'll talk about that after. Yeah.
It sounds like y'all just went on the first date.
Oh yeah, it's been good.
dude. It was
Yeah.
so funny out on
Yeah.
the
It's
out
a
on
good
the
thing
grid
you're not
with
on
them.
the same team. That might be the real danger if you were on the same team.
Oh yeah, that'd be bad.
We probably fight a little bit because we were out there
Yeah.
during the front squats.
Yeah.
and he got to go first.
And y'all were on the same team.
yeah. And I was
yesterday.
like
Yeah.
jumping around. Like he could
Yeah.
tell I was looking at him. I was
Yeah.
like, give me the
No,
barbell, Danny.
I was doing the
I'm
squats.
strong too. I want to lift.
I was doing the squats and Sam was over there. I was like, oh yeah. It's like the dog wanted the bone. You know, I was like, all right, give the dog the bone. He's like, coach, what do I do? What do I do? Give the dog the bone, right? He's getting antsy. It was
As
good,
soon as
though.
someone goes, man, that Sam guy, he's strong. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit. Give me the bar.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got shows.
yeah. It was good.
So you guys, since you only had that to do. By the way, the exhibition match yesterday was East Coast versus West Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast lost.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? Hang on.
Oh.
Hang on. I'm going to loosen up your tongues first, okay? Our friends at Fit Aid brought us a treat
Oh.
at your request, actually. You had requested something a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And so we made it happen.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, we have it.
Oh, Sammy
Oh,
D.
snap.
Sammy D, baby.
Thank you, Fit Aid.
Yes, thank you, Fit Aid.
Old Jack Diesel.
Since you guys had a late night last night, this party aid will help you recover.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Drink a little bit off the top, right?
And then here's your bottle of Jack. So you guys can just finish that off.
Oh, yeah.
While we podcast.
We definitely have to share.
Here,
I think we just
I'll load
pass
it up
around.
for you.
I'm going to try this here.
Bartender Chris is going to get the party started. Here, drink each down a little bit, and I'll pour you some.
We're going to take a break real quick while we get this bottle
that's
open.
delicious.
And then we'll come back with the results and why you think you guys got your asses kicked.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we were having too much fun.
I wrestled in high school, picked up some jiu-jitsu after that. But between those two, I started working out with a couple of meatheads, doing bench press, curls, things like that, never doing legs. The standard gym guy workout. Never really got anywhere with it, just enjoyed my time at the gym, kind of socializing. I've done CrossFit since 2009. And I started playing with the barbell just a little bit, doing some overhead squats and front squats, thrusters, basic Metcon. I really shied away from doing strength training because it was intimidating. I'd never been a strong guy. At 130 pounds, I could always play that size card. I could always say, okay, yeah, I clean 220, but come on, I'm 130 pounds. But I've been CrossFitting since 2009, so it was time for me to nut up and do something different. And so, as an athlete, I was like, what is the next step for me? It's time to gain some weight and time to find some strength. I'd say the biggest thing that sparked me to do the Muscle Gain Challenge was a simple workout that I did with a buddy. It was 12-9-6 of 185-pound power cleans and ring dips. That's a 90-second workout. He crushed it. And it took me 12 and a half minutes to be put down that hard by a workout. It was really like a blow to me. So, that was the evolution for me. It was like, I have to get stronger. I don't feel capable at all. A 6-month program, I'd say right now, even for a somewhat experienced lifter, that's a long time to commit. You're used to 9, 12, 13-week, strength cycles. Now we're going double that with 26 weeks. When you realize that, how long that is and what a commitment it is, that you got to do it. That's 6 months of your life that you're going to set aside to get really fucking good compared to what you were. And that's what it takes. The volume absolutely blew me away. I had no idea what I was in for volume-wise because this is coming from somebody who lifted, Monday and Thursday. That was the days I lifted. That was it. One lift. Snatch on Monday, clean on Thursday. I might squat on Saturday. It was hard, but being stuck where I was ready for a challenge and just something different. The conditioning in the Muscle Gain Challenge is perfect complement to the program. It's short and intense workouts that are really there to help you kind of maintain your abilities. Your ability to do pull-ups and muscle-ups and things like that, all those needs are addressed. And so, a lot of people think, again, with a muscle gain challenge, oh shit, I'm gonna gain 20, 30 pounds. My pull-ups are gonna suck. I won't have handstand push-ups. And that's all bullshit because they make you do those things multiple times a week. All the skills that you need or value will remain intact. Before the Muscle Gain Challenge, my nutrition was pretty zone paleo because I was so into CrossFit. I think that I was underfed. For breakfast, I remember having 3 blocks of egg whites with some almonds and some unsweetened applesauce. And it was like a 3-block breakfast. I guess I didn't think about eating for my goals, but food is the most important tool that you can use to get strong. I was wanting to be super healthy and have this zoned out, paleo type diet. But I also wanted to be a lot stronger. By abandoning those principles and taking on the proper nutrition, I made a huge change. Just using the knowledge that they give you through the Faction Foods nutrition course and all just the tips on nutrient timing, when to eat, when to eat what, those things become a habit. And they actually introduce you to habits in the Muscle Gain Challenge. Here's habit 1, weigh yourself daily. Habit 2, eat this after you work out. And those habits, I still use them, After the first 4 weeks, I could tell that I was on the right track. My first time maxing my back squat during the challenge, I made like a 15-pound PR, and it was the first time I'd ever squatted, I think, 275 pounds high bar. And I was like, okay, this shit works. When I started the challenge, I was 130 pounds, had a 2x bodyweight back squat, like on the dot. I think I was 260, 265 on my squat. At the end of the challenge, I was over 150 pounds. I had a 300-pound front squat and a 365-pound back squat. So my squat went up 100 pounds during this Muscle Gain Challenge. Competing in weightlifting was part of, I think, just like a natural progression. If you do this, runners run 5Ks, 10Ks, CrossFitters compete in CrossFit competitions, and you get into weightlifting, and I think it's just a natural progression to want to do a competition. My goal is to try to maximize my strength at the current body weight that I'm at now and compete in December at the American Open. And then after that, if I feel like I'm kind of maxed out on my body weight, maybe bump it up a weight class and kind of relive the whole Muscle Gain Challenge thing and see how far I can take this. Strength helps build confidence, and a confident person walks, differently than someone who's unsure of themselves. And being strong and just having that whole thing about you, I think, is attractive to people. Chicks definitely dig that. Being stronger has absolutely changed me fundamentally and just the way I think and feel about things. Definitely more patient. I'm nicer. I'm happier, more confident. And I can help move your couch a lot more efficiently now.
Welcome back to Technique Quad. Today we're going to continue on with the squat series. Video 1 was the overview video of the squat. We give you all of the points of performance for squatting. The big 3 were heels down, neutral spine, and knees out over your toes, or at least in the same plane as your foot. In video 2, we went over front squats. Video 3, we went over back squats. And now this is video 4. We're going to go over spotting and dropping weight and how to do that safely without hurting yourself. All right, so for the spotting and dropping weight video, we're going to talk about, again, front squats, back squats, high bar and low bar, and we're also going to talk about box squats, which we'll probably cover in one of the later squat videos. So first we're going to talk about dropping weight and how to go to failure safely without having a spotter to save you. You shouldn't need anyone to save you for the most part. So if I go over here and I'm doing a front squat, front squats are the easiest ones to fail on because I can squat down, and then if I can't stand up, it's easy. I just drop the weight on the ground. Oop, I just drop the weight on the ground, and it's no big deal. And I can do that without hurting my wrist. I don't need to be like in this horrible position before I decide to drop the weight. For me, once I go here, I push. I rarely try to get way out of position before I drop the weight. I just get here, and I kind of just give it a little bit of a hop back, and I drop the weight on the ground, and I don't blow my wrists out before I drop it. I don't drop my elbows before I drop the weight. I just go, okay, I can't stand up, and then I just bail 100%, and then I usually have to strip all the weight off and load it back on the rack, which is kind of a pain, but you know, you don't hurt yourself. Problems that I've seen with people trying to drop a front squat before is I've seen this a number of times where someone is down and they stand and then they go like this, they drop their elbows and then it hits their knees, and then now their elbows can't drop anymore and they kind of get locked in place, and you see my wrists getting cranked back like that. They go like this and it hits and then it tears on the wrist really hard. So you want to make sure that you're here, elbows are up, and then you kind of hop out of the way a little bit, or at least make sure that you're tossing it forward and your elbows aren't going to crash down onto your knees. So I haven't seen that many times, but it's happened to me once before, and I've seen it happen to other people. So you want to avoid that for sure. Back squats, for a high bar back squat, a high bar Olympic style back squat, it's going to be easier to drop that because generally you're a little taller and upright with your posture compared to a low bar back squat where you're more bent over. It's hard to bail the bar behind you when you're so bent over. So again, here's the distinction for a high bar back squat. I'm here, it's high on my traps, and then when I squat down, I'm pretty vertical for the most part, and I don't have the best squatting leverage, but still I'm pretty tall, and if I'm here and I need to just kind of step out, I can just drop the weight off my back. Generally, we don't let people drop just the barbell unless they absolutely have to, but I'm doing it for this video so you can see me from the side. And then for a low bar back squat, if the bar is not on my upper traps here and it's a little bit lower like that, for the most part there, say I have a wider, more powerlifting style stance and I'm squatting down where I'm way more bent over, it's harder for me to kick the bar behind me because I have so much further to go before I can drop it off my back. And if it's really heavy weight, maybe I stand, my butt pops up, and now I know I can't stand up. Well, how am I going to get it off my back? It's going to be harder than if I just had someone there to spot me. So for a low bar back squat, I'd rather have someone spot me where they can just help me back up as opposed to trying to drop it off my back or trying to do what I've seen people do before. And sometimes they don't really mean to do this, as they try to go under the weight, where they go like this, and then they try to throw it over their head, and that's, you know, far from safe. So I've seen people do it before, and they've made it out unscathed, but it doesn't mean it's a good idea. So with a low bar back squat, you want to have a spotter, you know, someone either right behind you to help you up, maybe even two people on the sides to help with it if it's a particularly heavy barbell. Once you're getting over 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds, having one spotter usually isn't ideal, and you want some people on the sides too. You see guys squat 1,000 pounds, they got two people per side plus a spotter behind them. So for a low bar back squat, it's probably better to have a spotter, and we're going to cover spotting here in a second, especially if I'm doing a box squat. So if I'm here and I'm doing a box squat, especially a low bar box squat, I sit down, and then if I can't get up, I don't want to drop the bar onto the bench. It's going to hit in the middle, and then it's going to spring like that, which is dangerous. You know, you don't know where it's going to spring. You know if the weights are going to fall off and it's going to flip over. You don't know if it's going to break the barbell. You know if it's going to bounce back towards you and potentially hurt you. You don't know what's going to happen, so you don't want to drop the bar on a bench. There's nothing good about that. So you always want a spotter when you're doing any type of a box squat, especially if you're using bands. Bands will accelerate the bar towards the ground really fast. And it's probably not going to fall off your back. It's going to scrape and shred your back. I've seen that too with guys that have big scars on their back from getting shredded from a sharp bar. This person didn't even have bands, but it still hit them in the back and it messed them up pretty good. Hi, Corey. So we're going to grab Mick Goldrick real quick, and I'm going to show you how to spot. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you how to spot somebody on a front squat. Again, you don't have to actually spot most people on front squats. The benefit of actually having a spot for something like a front squat and a high bar back squat, even though you could drop it, is that for experienced people that are going to be doing a couple of heavy sets, you can just give them that little bit of a bump just through like 2 or 3 inches of their sticking point, and it will allow them to do a few more reps on that set. A couple of forced reps could potentially help you get a little bit more of a stimulus, and that's going to help you gain some strength. So for new people, you don't need to spot them and make them do forced reps. This is for advanced people, and it's not something you necessarily even need to do all the time, but it is an available option for advanced people that need it on occasion. So here's what that looks like. If he's going to do a front squat, a few things. So number one, I don't want to be way back here. If he needs me to help him and I'm at arm's length, I'm not going to be able to help him. Number two, you know, you're only going to have to like squat down with him once you can see he's having trouble getting through that sticking point. But once that point comes, go ahead and squat down. I'm going to be here, nice and close. And for the most part, if I just know I'm going to bump him through a sticking point and not really save him, I'm just going to push up on his elbows like that and just kind of bump him through the sticking point. If I actually have to save him and he goes down, he's not going to make it, I want to be close enough where I'm squatting right next to him, very friendly, where I can push his elbows, and then if I need to, I can kind of just pick up his chest. Like I grabbed him basically with the crook of my elbow right underneath his lats, right underneath his shoulders, and you got to be really friendly. He's like right there, and I kind of get to give him a little bit of a shove, but we're like totally close, and so it's cool. Back squat, pretty much the same thing. If he does a high bar back squat, same thing. I see this all the time with beginners. You know, they want to feel like they're helping somebody, and so they're way back here. Maybe they're looking at him, and then he starts to stand up, can't make it, and they're just like, and they try to grab him like this with their hands. And if the bar is heavy at all, that's not going to work. And then what happens is they go ahead and stay squat down again. They go here. He can't stand up. I try to save him. He knows I can't save him, and then I try to get closer at the same time. He tries to drop the bar, and he drops it on top of me. Okay, so that's obviously bad. Again, you want to be nice and close, and you're going to do the squat with him. I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to come up and like right here. If you want, you can put your hands all the way like right here on the shoulders, especially if you're squatting a female. You know, you don't want to be like this and just pick them up, or maybe you want to, but you shouldn't. But you're going to put your hands right here on the shoulders. That way you can actually use your upper body. You're almost connected shoulder to shoulder to help pick them up. And then if you really have to, you can give them a little bit of a shove with your hips just to push their hips forward if their hips are coming up and they're bombing forward.
Man, I'm going to start spotting more often.
That's right.
Spotting's so cool.
Mike's been holding out for us. He just did a bunch of hard-ass intervals. He's about to throw up. Good man for helping out with the video, though, anyway. Yeah. You can throw up now. He just flops over. Yeah. Huh? No, dude. Yeah, no, thank you for doing that. This is great TV. All right, real quick, I want to show how to use side spotters. You can use just a single spotter behind you. You can use oh, he's being a trooper. You can use 2 side spotters, or you can use a person behind you plus the 2 side spotters, so you have 3 people total. For the moment, we're just going to show you what the side spotters look like. If you have just side spotters, you're going to want to have them basically not touch the bar at all. They're not going to give you a forced rep and bump you through your sticking point. They're going to just basically save you if you need it. So you don't want one guy giving you a little bit of help and the other guy not giving you very much help at all, and then they're tilting you or pushing you, teeter-totter back and forth, side to side, and making you get off balance, okay? So if I'm doing a low bar back squat, which is usually what I would use side spotters for the most part, they're just going to be having their hands right underneath the bar, and they're kind of going to squat down with me. And then if I get down and I can't get back up, they're basically going to say, okay, they're going to basically just pick it up and save me from missing the lift. Again, they're not really just going to like help me. They're going to say, okay, he didn't get it. And everyone's going to communicate and say, take it, and they're going to pick it up and put it back in the rack. Oftentimes when you watch power lifters, there's 4 or 5 or 6 people all around the one lifter, and they're like, everyone's kind of watching, and then they just go get it, and everyone just picks it up all at the same time, and they put it back in the rack, or they just pick it straight up, and the monolift comes down and grabs the barbell. So thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. All right, that's it for the dropping weight and spotting video. Hopefully we'll come back and do a box squat and an overhead squat video. And then again, maybe a few other ones that we haven't figured out yet. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of the squat series or the snatch series that we did and the clean series that we did and the jerk series that we did, you can go to barbellshrug.com, click on the episodes tab at the top of the page. We also include a best of section where if you want to watch the best technique WOD videos, the best barbell shrug videos, and a bunch of other cool stuff that we threw in there. There's a best of section of that tab now as well. So I will see you another day. Thanks for watching.
That's because he was too thirsty.
Oh, man. All right. CTP missed a good shot. I'm going to have to ask you guys to repeat.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Here we go.
You ready?
Cheers.
Party AIDS. Up. Oh, and down.
Oh yeah, this is delicious.
It is good. It's
Party 8, baby.
Yeah.
It says that.
Yeah, it's
This is Party 8.
Party 8 is
I
popular.
had the baby.
It's popular amongst the people who like to throw down hard.
Yeah.
And need to recover the next day. You
that's
also,
you guys.
You can also make mixed drinks with it. I prefer vodka with my Party Aid. I actually like to do Party Aid with some vodka, like half and half, and then a splash of Fit Aid.
Now, if you drink it with your vodka, do you need it the next day, or are you supplementing there?
I think you're supplementing there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you're good.
I don't have all the
Kill
scientific
two birds with
evidence
one
to
stone
back
type
any
of
of
thing.
this up.
Yeah, for sure.
We could
CTP want a drink of this here?
We could probably find out.
Yeah.
That's got booze in
All
it.
right,
yeah.
so you guys, what were we talking about?
We were talking.
You were
we
going
left
to
off-
say how we got our asses kicked.
Oh, yeah.
we were gonna
You know what,
explain.
it's an exhibition match, and East Coast beat West Coast, and I'll be honest, I love the West Coast. I like spending a lot of time there. I identify with the West Coast a lot when I feel like I'm at home when I'm out there, but I was still kind of rooting for East Coast, and I was happy to see that they won. So why did East Coast? And not only that, they won pretty big. What happened?
There's a multitude of things,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, there are.
I think the most obvious would be just the amount of mistakes that we made, both male and female.
Yeah, you know what? I did notice during one of the races. So there's 11 races in a match. One of the races, you guys suffered an injury even,
Yeah.
and then you still like tied at the end
Twice.
of the race.
Two.
So there was two injuries.
Two injuries.
Yeah, and one of them was you guys were even strong enough to come back and tie,
And we're like,
even
what
though
do-
you
what
had
do we do?
someone fall out.
Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? Can we sub? Like,
It was definitely
we
like
don't
an-
know how the rules work.
It was
yet.
an on-the-fly move, and there was a little bit of confusion for about probably 5-10 seconds. Yeah.
I mean,
And then-
seconds is going to make a huge
Yeah.
difference.
And the
in this.
NPFL match, 5 seconds is a
It's
lifetime.
a lot more like other sports, like in football or basketball. If you make a mistake, you're going to pay a really big price for it. Like in football, you fumble 2 or 3 times a game, you're probably going to fucking lose that
Yeah.
game, man. It's
Yeah.
a big switch in momentum. Out
Yeah.
here, there's so much motion, so much fast-paced action. You make a wrong turn, you don't touch the line, dude, you're going to pay for that big time.
Yeah.
Now you got to work twice as hard to make up the gap.
Yeah, definitely. We want to give a shout out to Jamie Higia and let her know we love her and wish her a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
And after that happened, we have so much love for her and we're such good friends and so close. It was hard to come back after that. I was like, oh man, I was so shaken up, and I was like, we're in this moment, we have to compete, but then there's a good friend, that's out, and you hear about the injury, and you're like,
shit,
oh,
this was
man,
supposed to be for fun.
Yeah, and then
Shit gets real.
really,
real fucking sport.
really real, and people were having tears in their eyes, and it's like, it's like, what do you do? And you got to keep moving, but it's hard to move past something like that, something that big.
I think that says a lot for the beginning of this sport already, and the people involved with it. That we have the type of people that are willing to put their bodies on the line for their teammates.
Yeah.
And these are teammates that I had for 6 hours
Yeah.
leading up to
Yep.
that. Like some of these cats I just met, and I was willing to go out there and we were willing to put our bodies on the line for points for our
Yeah.
teammates.
Yeah.
And
There's
I think
definitely a bond.
That says a lot for what the true team dynamic is going to look like. Once the real season hits,
Yeah.
and the type of characters that we have involved in this new sport.
Definitely, yeah. The bigger picture of the NPFL and everybody that's involved from top down, just everything good that's happening. It's trickling down to everybody.
Profound, man. I was gonna think maybe what makes it even more special is that it's so new. It's like a blooming, totally new thing. And you can come together at the last, like I said, 6 hours, and bond as a team almost instantly. I'm really curious to see just how this develops. I mean, like, come August, come a year into it, come when there's like 2016, when there's maybe 20, 30 teams, or whatever the hell they're gonna do. The real effect on that, on you guys' training, on the way on the way the country views fitness, on its impact on local boxes and expands reach. It's going to be just an extraordinary thing. Could be more fucking excited for this.
It's gonna change a lot of lives, dude. It's really, really cool that I think it was Tony just telling a story a couple days ago. He's like, some guy just walked in here, I some sort of sponsorship role, hasn't really had any experience with fitness, CrossFit, whatever you want to kind of call it right now, and saw this really briefly, just for like 30-40 seconds, and that which can sometimes be a match. and came up and was like, dude, that got me fired up. Like, I want to go work out. This guy that has never had really anything to do with what we're doing right now, and now all of a sudden he's motivated to go try something, new and different, and that may change his life. So that's pretty exciting.
He's going to go home and look up the closest CrossFit box. I kind of learned this. There's a snatch thing. I've never seen that in my life. What's up with that?
It's inspiring. I mean, I think we were actually talking about this the other day, is we get desensitized to transformations. Those of us have been in the industry for a long time. I've been in CrossFit since 2007.
Wow.
And you guys have been in sports and fitness for a while. I mean, you guys may be experiencing the same thing. As I'm used to people having dramatic transformations, like someone like getting to the point where they had type 2 diabetes and now they're a healthy individual on no drugs and
competing in CrossFit,
or and doing CrossFit and doing like smaller competitions and stuff like that. They go from like sick and dying to like one of the most functional human beings on earth.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I take that for granted now. I'm like, oh yeah, good job. And then the problem is I've seen it so many times in my small world, in my little small bubble, that I think that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's cool to see something like this where you do have that outsider that comes in and goes, you can tell they are being inspired to train and stuff like that.
Well, it's a lot cooler that that's normal to you than what normal is for a lot of other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is a complete,
just existing. Slow degradation.
Just getting by is normal for some people.
Yeah,
man. And it's fitness in general. Just people getting up and moving and realizing and putting some fun with it. Like something like the NPFL. Like, wow, that was exciting. Like, working out can be fun. Like, we can race and have fun, do whatever. You don't have to go to the gym and just do some curls and some bench and stay on the same routine. Like, you
and
go
not
out
talk
there
to anybody.
Exactly. You go out there and have fun and race and and find new skills.
Yeah, when I was a little
just
kid,
be stuck in routine.
I was a little fat kid in Memphis growing up. I would see Michael Jordan, fucking still my hero. If Michael Jordan walks in right now, I fall to my knees like, oh fuck, Michael Jordan. But little fat kid grabbing a basketball, had no idea what he was doing. Get my dad to get a goal, go out and shoot hoops. I think kids are going to start seeing this kind of shit on TV more and more. Kids who otherwise, no one in their family lifts. There's no gyms. There's no nothing. Nothing otherwise would trigger them to feel this way. They're going to watch a guy. They're going to see guys rip his shirts off and go at it in this awesome way. And they're going to go, I need to be a part of this. Not even understanding anything other than it's cool, it's flashy. Maybe I could have a future in that. I could.
That's.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
My football.
I'm
path.
glad you said that because so much of what kind of makes this professional is unfortunately the money. And a lot of people, like our interview questions this morning, asking us like, "Hey, what are you gonna do with this? In 2 years from now, like, what are you gonna do with all this money? What are you gonna be able to do with all this?" And like, honestly, like the fact that we're gonna be able to inspire, potentially inspire. I don't care what age, whether it's the young little fat kid, or if it's the 60-year-old man who's never done anything, but the potential for us to be able to inspire people to do something greater than themselves with a group of other people, it's really, really exciting that we're going to get the opportunity to give back to other people in some fashion.
How big of a deal do you think it is that now this is a sport, and obviously there's a lot different about it. One of the most interesting ways it's different is that on your team, there's a master's component and a opposite gender component where you're all working together on the same field at the same time.
I think this is the first like co-ed pro sport.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
it is.
But
and that's one of the questions they asked us in the interview too. Like, how do you feel about the first professional co-ed sport out there?
It's fucking groundbreaking.
Oh yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. We have some amazing women in this sport. Amazing on fitness levels and personalities.
Not only as athletes, but coaches.
Yeah,
we have female coaches as well.
Definitely.
Maybe because that's still a rub with any sport. Like you watch NBA go, this is cool.
I don't think it is here though.
You go, you go NBA, cool. Ladies basketball, it's built to be segregated and off the side and compared against the standard.
Yeah.
Same with there's baseball and there's softball. Yeah, it's okay, but it's not fucking Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
There's a natural sort of gradient. But here it's like, here's a standard. You guys are badass and strong. These girls are right beside you, equally badass and strong.
You're right.
They're lifting almost I guess some events they're on the same barbell.
Yeah.
I could see this potentially like changing things like the average woman's perception of what
Fuck yeah,
being
Will.
fit
Definitely.
means, you know,
Yeah.
because I mean, if a woman's been exposed to CrossFit or something like that, they understand that being strong is a big benefit, and you can be lean and you can be smaller and still be strong. You know, the fear of getting bulky and all this, and I think that I think this is going to help transform like people's idea about what being fit is for a woman, and being able to see. We're talking to two giant dudes about what this is going to mean to women.
I guess
Yeah,
like,
we-
and
No,
when they-
but this is blowing my mind
we
right
love-
now.
we love our women,
This is
you
what's
know?
blowing my mind is we actually care.
important.
Yeah.
And then I think it's going to help change like the perception of people all over the United States, and women are going to like start looking at themselves in a different light, and I think that could be awesome. Yeah.
You dudes are
definitely,
making it
yeah.
happen. Cheers to you.
Yeah, thank you. I think the world in general is going to be inspired by some of these incredible women. You know, seeing them out there competing, like, wow, like some of these things are possible
Yeah.
for women. You know, we get out there and it's like, wow, like I never thought that, you know, someone could do that. And these women are beautiful. They have great bodies, and they are out there crushing it.
with men.
Yes.
Yeah, and
with men
yeah,
side by
pri-
With
side.
men, because like you do that in football. Like if a girl ever tried to play football in high school, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
People laugh
you
and
can't
scoff.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
And here is a new professional league where it starts off women being right equal. I mean, look, we still live in a kind of a fucked up place where women still are fighting for equality. Let's not bullshit. You're still going to get paid less for the same fucking job. You're still going to get a hard time from guys in the office going, well, if you assert yourself in a meeting, dude, Sam comes in and says, here's what I think. That Sam's going to get her. Girl walks in the office and says, here's what I think we should do. Well, she's a bitch. That kind of shit is still happening, and this is a good way of saying, no, there's no difference.
Not in
man.
our subculture though.
Yeah.
No, not
That's
in
true.
this.
No,
And that's
yeah.
on display here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we read about that in newspapers, but yeah, we don't experience it in the
Yeah.
culture that we live in.
We
You're right
live in a
about that.
completely different world.
Yeah.
And there's just so much respect out here, and that's the difference. So much respect for the ladies that are out here doing their thing.
Yeah, in all different tiers. So we have this male category, all right. We have this female category, all right, and then we have this masters category
Yeah, the age.
too. So where you know we can be discriminated just as much for our gender. You know, people are discriminated for their age as well.
Hell
And,
yes.
One of
Yeah,
the strongest
definitely.
guys out here is a masters athlete.
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah.
Playtech.
Yeah.
I think he deadlifted 585.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cleared it.
And
Fuck, man.
Cleared it.
not only is he like one of the strongest guys out here, period, he's one of the oldest. So
Salt and pepper hair.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
skills.
what is your favorite event here? Because mine has to be that fucking deadlift ladder. I wish powerlifting and weightlifting would do more of that. It's the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time. Just
Yeah,
rapid
yeah.
fire attempts up to max. And then-
My favorite things are ladders, you know, and I feel like there's the most excitement there. The crowd is there with you. There's
Yeah.
one person there going for one lift, and they're, you know, your back's round and everything's shaking, and everyone's like, yeah, get it, you know. With that, with the cleans, with the snatch, every ladder that you've seen everywhere is going to be the most exciting because the fans are right there riding with you.
Everybody knows race. Everybody knows escalation and difficulty. It's just getting harder and harder. Everybody gets time. These guys are racing. It's a perfect event, man.
It's
It is.
very easy to interpret what's
Do you-
happening, even if you
Yeah.
have no clue what they're doing.
What's your least favorite event?
My least favorite event is
Yeah.
the deadlift ladder.
And
Man,
my favorite.
Yeah,
Least
I know,
favorite
yeah.
and my
this
favorite.
this guy, you know, we're talking in deadlifts. You know, I'm pretty good at the Olympic lifts. I've been doing them
Yeah, man.
them for a bit. My clean's pretty good, but then I compare my clean to my deadlift, and I'm like, man, that deadlift, what's going on?
But they're
back
not.
there,
They're just
you
not
know?
the same thing. You're not.
Yeah,
you're probably
yeah,
not
no,
as
no,
fast
no,
off the
they're not-
ground as you'd
yeah.
like to be.
That's what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Just they're two completely different
Yeah.
style lifts.
Yeah.
And
People say you train the same way, like, oh yeah, just do cleans to train
Yeah.
your deadlift. Why do speed deadlifts? You don't know what you're talking about. You
Yeah,
haven't
well,
ever trained the deadlift.
yeah,
very
when
hard,
someone
have you?
says that, I'm like, oh, okay, then let's teach you how to deadlift then.
Have you ever hung out with powerlifters and trained with them? And have you ever gone the way of the? It's not the
Yeah.
same thing.
No. They're totally different. So deadlifting, you know, compared to the other ladders, would be my least favorite because
Yeah.
people would expect me to excel because I happen to be good at the Olympic lifts, and then I get to that deadlift thing, and you know, there's
Sticky off the ground.
there's
man.
a guy that's you know 50 pounds less that's able to do the same. And it's just like, wow, you know, I mean, you got to give it to the other athletes. But then I'm sitting there scratching my head, like, what's going on my backside here? I got to get on Sam's things, some of those reverse hypers and things. I was kind of picking his brain that we were talking about maybe coaching each other.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little loose in the overhead pressing department.
Sam, I saw you deadlift yesterday. You had the power lifter deadlift going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was
kind of teaching.
You don't see that very much in CrossFit, and sometimes when people do it, they get criticized.
Unfortunately, you don't see it because I think
I personally can't even do it. But
well, I think it takes a really good coach to be able to break it down, and because it's a pretty dynamic setup.
I do the same. I grip and rip really fucking fast with the ground.
I think it's a lot easier in my mind to teach someone how to Olympic lift than it is in either of them or both of them. We'll say I think it's a lot easier for me to coach someone how to snatch and to clean than it is to teach someone how to deadlift. All right, properly, because CrossFit, we go to our L1. They just teach it. I call it the CrossFit deadlift. It's the same,
same position.
The same way you deadlift is the same way you would set up for a snatch or a clean.
Right.
Which in the world of powerlifting isn't.
On both sides of the fence, weightlifting and powerlifting, it's not right.
Yeah.
All right, nothing's wrong, nothing's right. It's just different.
It's just like in
but
between.
the majority of weightlifting coaches would disagree with that setup, and the majority of powerlifting coaches would.
It's like the worst of both worlds. It's a melted together sort of.
It's a hybrid.
It's average.
It is
It's a hybrid. That's why I call it the CrossFit deadlift.
It's great. It may make you strong as shit, but if you want to peak either one, you got to specialize either way.
And
You're gonna have to move up your butt up or down.
To my competitors that I talk to, I still bring it up and I talk about it because I think it's important to know how to transfer the area of the body that you're using. So if my ass and my hamstrings start to blow up, I want to know how I can get this sucker maybe into my lower back and my quads.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I can hit a different area of my body that's actually going to respond to my brain right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's still important to have this Olympic style deadlift, to have this power lift, and to have this hybrid CrossFit deadlift in your arsenal. So I'm not gonna write it off and say it's worthless or stupid. It has its
tool,
place.
Right?
It absolutely, it's a tool that we can use to help develop our skill of getting through something in a more efficient manner.
And for training the average person, the person coming in being introduced to CrossFit for the first time, that's a good place to start.
It is. You know what?
That's the place to start. You don't need to start worrying about like special powerlifting or special weightlifting techniques.
I agree with that, and at the same time, I still have another perspective. Something that kind of drives me nuts is PVC pipes.
Yeah,
like
not quite heavy enough to teach you how to do anything, right?
Just get a barbell. Like, you need to learn how to have a barbell in your hands. Like, if I'm teaching someone how to throw a football, I don't give them a banana just because it fits better. All right, if you want to learn how to throw a football, I'm going to give you a damn football.
You need a football.
All right, and if you want to learn how to hold a barbell, I'm going to give you a barbell and not some, 12-ounce piece of plastic pipe. That's.
I think the pipe can. It depends on how you teach the movement.
Yeah, and it also depends on which movement, too.
Yeah, different styles of teaching a movement require a lot of reps with something like a PVC pipe. But there's other ways to teach it. There's not just one way to teach the lifts.
Yeah, that's the hard ass in me.
And some of them can be the barbell right off the bat.
We all got to get away from one way. Yeah. To your point about the deadlifts, dude. Like, I got experience always being around great weightlifters, like in grad school, training with them, in CrossFit and weightlifting, being a part of them, doing the lifts, kind of as an old beat-up powerlifter and former football player, learning the right way, kind of getting okay at doing a snatch, improving my flexibility. That powerlifting really didn't do a good job, like getting better overhead. Weightlifting's good for that. But learning how to get my butt down and deadlift in a clean style was great because I got a history from powerlifting, not from powerlifting, but from football, blowing out lower back discs.
Yeah.
So in powerlifting, I can speed pull all day, every day. It's great. That'll make you strong as shit. Heavy attempts will irritate that if my hips are high. But I can use that clean style deadlift to train the deadlift more often, butt down, drive with the legs, and that still has a transfer. So this idea that you even have to pick one, like use them both with a strategy and, sort of play to one in a competition when something blows up, or if you have a weakness, like for me, if I get my butt down and train my legs, my deadlift with a powerlifting style will go up. I'll get better, especially if I'm coupling that with high hipped speed pulls.
I don't know if you guys saw or I always kind of hope sometimes that people will notice a particular style that I'll adopt in a workout. Like yesterday, for instance, in the cluster workout where it was a squat clean to a thruster.
I was watching that.
Yeah.
Did you watch mine?
Well, yours gorilla.
No, you stood out.
So
Because the way you did it, I was like,
All right,
I was thinking, I wonder if he's doing that for efficiency or if he just fucked up.
So I have so back to attacking different areas of my body. All right, with that front squat, I'm going to be hitting a lot of quad.
Yeah.
All right, there's really not much around that. Like it's going to be kind of a more anterior demanding movement. And then with that pull, I'm trying to hit like a powerlifting style glute and hamstring. All right, so I don't want to be all quad,
Yeah.
which is how a lot of people are if they're doing that CrossFit style or Olympic style pull. And then just blowing up there because I got these sprints left, I got these jerks left, I got these box left.
jump overs.
Yeah. So I think it's important to know how to be dynamic like that and how to kind of switch back and forth and play around with your entire body and not just one single.
You got to figure out a bunch of ways to be strong, right? And that's going to be. You can't just go to your strengths. You can't just go one proven path. You got to figure out all kinds of ways to
That's
move.
what's been great about being with the West Side guys, the conjugate guys, the sweatshop people.
Sweatshop's great, man.
Is
Big shout out to those guys.
Yeah, Shane and Laura, they've been awesome, and it's taught me how to use, because in CrossFit we talk about we're not going to isolate today. We're going to do compound movements. All right, great. Okay, awesome. But there's something really, really special about isolating a muscle, and what that does.
Fuck yes, there is.
And what that does.
I mean, look at this guy's pecs. Of course there is.
And what that does, like neurologically, though, like the relationship between your brain and a muscle, it's going to allow you, all right, to understand how to activate that area of your body. So it's funny sometimes, like when I'm coaching a new person, and I'm like, squeeze your ass, and they don't even know where their ass is. Right?
I tell ladies, squeeze your ass or I'll squeeze it for you. They're like, oh my God, I got to get this thing squeezed.
But
I'm a good coach.
With this conjugate method and being at the sweatshop and at conjugate, it's allowed me to be really in tune with, really from head to toe, like know how to isolate damn near every area of my body. Which really has a lot of transfer to.
It's not just for bodybuilding.
No.
Yeah.
Not at
I mean,
all.
people say, "Oh, it's bodybuilding shit. That's not functional." Yeah. Name for me, in weightlifting or powerlifting. I'm sure you can find a few, but out of the vast pool of great lifters you know and see, who doesn't do small exercises? Your Klokovs, your Chinese weightlifters, your Ed Cohens, anybody you can name who deadlifts and cleans and snatches big time fucking weight. Among them, who would scoff at side raises, hamstring curls, knee extensions?
CrossFitters.
Sometimes that's the only group, and those are the ones who maybe don't get what could help them the most.
Because it hasn't been preached to us like that, unfortunately, and what that could. I mean, look at all the damn shoulder injuries we see.
Yeah, we think they need those movements before doing these compound movements, but everyone gets so jazzed up about, oh yeah, I want to
It's like
do my friend.
Hey,
and do
because
this
how
and
often
that,
often do you hear this? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not good at squatting. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
Well, squat more. Oh, bullshit.
Well, for if you take the average new person in and they just don't know how to move, and they've just never done squats, sometimes doing more squats can be better.
Yeah, we're gonna need to create movement patterns.
Now,
yeah.
if they're not, if they're not getting good like glute med activation, maybe you need to do some X-band walks, and you need to do maybe some single leg work. And there's some things that you can do to help activate that. A lot of times, just doing more. Sometimes more squats is the answer, and sometimes it's not. And so I think you just gotta a good coach recognizes which one is which.
Which scenario we're in.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times that new person, they shouldn't be squatting anyway in the first place. You know, they can't get in those right positions.
Sometimes
or
their
depth
ankles
or be in that position to squat. So they need to work on some single leg stuff to build that strength and flexibility before they're in that position. But unfortunately, they get forced in these classes. All right, guys, we're back squat, and they're on their toes, not going down.
Just like you.
Back's rounding, the chest is between the knees. You know, they got the good morning
Keep
at the
at it.
bottom.
It'll come.
Oh,
It'll come.
yeah. You're getting stronger, but and that's people get lost in the mix.
Sometimes verbal cues are not enough.
No, and that's where coaching comes into play.
Actually, I would say the majority of the time that verbal cues aren't the answer. It's choosing another exercise.
Yeah. You know, and like Sam said, people don't even know their own body. They don't know. They don't know where that's. So you're like chest up, and they're like, it's up, right? And then
not so much.
You show them a video, and they're like, oh, I thought it was up.
I tell you, man, if there's two things I can say, I owe my health and anything I achieved in lifting and my strength to. It's the two lessons I learned from Louis. The crazy old fucking man. People love to get on it and say whatever you want. He said two things. One, you got to fucking learn to train optimally. Look at me. I didn't do it for a long time.
Yeah.
I broke myself a lot. This is better. And people who will talk shit about that program say this is for guys using drugs. This is for this. No. It's one of the most sort of easier ways to train if you want to be super strong. You won't get beat up, actually. Number two, so after you train optimally, you learn to fucking get in shape for the right to train.
Yeah.
Like, there's a heavy barbell. Great. Can you drag a sled for fucking 100 feet without gasping for air? Maybe you ought to be able to do that every day as a warm-up before you think you can then go for a max effort attempt or some shit. You know?
And you make a good point. Everybody wants that max effort before
putting in
the work and doing the volume to get there. Everyone's like, what's your PR back squat? And people that have never really done the movement are going for that, and they don't realize that you have to put in the volume.
Yeah, if you squat 200 pounds, how are you going to get stronger by just squatting 200 pounds in workout?
Exactly.
The mathematics aren't going to work for you.
You
better fucking drag a sled or glute ham or single leg squat, leg press, whatever you can do. Everything you got access to, do it almost every day. Get good for a while, put in the work, and then you'll start seeing this magical thing happen where you start getting fucking stronger.
Yeah, I think people
surprise.
They see PRs too frequently, like every month, or every other week. They see back squat PRs. We do a program where we don't max out for a 1 rep max on back squat or front squat for like 6 months. It's like it's 6 months before you realize like
I've only back squatted.
There are other rep maxes, but you're not going to see the result of all that hard work until and then they get 50, 100 pound
and that's
PR
volume.
Or something like that. Yeah, and they need that volume. They don't need the 1 reps.
No.
Like at Conjugate, I think I've been there for about a year now. I think I've only straight bar back squatted like once.
I believe it. Yeah.
So and same
you do
goes,
a lot of specialty bars there.
A lot of specialty bars, and then you got it from a box, and then you got it wide stance, narrow stance, and then you got it with chains, then you got it with bands, and you got it with chain and bands. Then you
so you're experienced and you do a lot of variation, play a lot of different things. Never test these main lists, but I've seen your front squat. It seems to be fucking working.
Dude,
what's your best front squat for the audience?
I've hit 5. Well, the last time I hit was 500, and that was the second time I've hit a front squat in 2 years.
Yeah,
that was the second time I've hit it in 1 year at Conjugate.
What's your 20 rep max back squat?
I want to go for that. I want to hit. So
I watched one on
the 405 by 22 or something like that. I want to get that for 30.
Fuck. Get a bucket ready.
Oh man.
Ooh, I won't need a bucket. I'll need a crash pad. Dog.
A wheelchair.
I've got 5 at 405.
That's pretty.
That's
rowdy.
about all I can do. I don't know if I can imagine doing. I think I could grasp maybe 10 reps, but 22 seems like outside of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, for me, 30 cleans at 405 might be easier than 30 back squats at 405. That's just the way I'm built, right? I'm just, clean, do one, those back squats, and that's how Sam and I are a bit different. Like I could hit the cleans, and so could he. But the back squats for me, he could just pound them out, and it's in the training, and that's people have to realize that it's in the volume. That's the way he trains, and that and he's good at that. And if people that were just taking classes, let's say, or doing training, could look at that and say, okay, that's how you get there. He doesn't hit the 1 rep max,
Yeah,
and it's fair to say that
same one every time.
Yeah.
I max out, so you guys know probably. I would assume everyone here knows a little bit or enough about like the West Side and Conjugate methods to know that I'm maxing out, with intensity every week
on something.
Yeah.
But not the main lift.
So you're always staying tuned and able to exert max effort.
But
in a myriad of ways. No matter what they throw at you out of here, you're going to be fine if it's heavy.
But it's all about this intensity that I'm applying, just incredible amounts of intensity to something that it's really, really cool because although it's still a really, really intense lift, there's not much weight involved, because when you got bands pulling you from the front and you got chains building up from the ground and you're deloading on a box, it doesn't take a ton of weight on your body. That's a good
point, man.
So you're not compressing your spine as much, but you're still you're fighting hard for this rep. So you're still getting this incredible hormetic effect that's allowing you to develop at a really high rate, because we're getting these new intensities every week. Because we have a different box height, we have a different specialty bar, we have different bands, we have different chains. So
people may be focusing on, this is cool, I need to use that. But that right there is actually the method. It's novel, it's fun, you're going to squat harder, you're going to beat yourself up less. There's always variation, there's always a new way to get stronger.
Yeah.
I think what you see is that's not unique. You can see guys like, I always say Klokov, because fuck, Klokov's the best, man.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see him do like pick up 400 pounds and pause it mid-thigh,
yeah,
everybody goes, oh, what's he going to do with that? And then he snatches it.
Snatch it, yeah.
I go,
Yeah,
holy
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing. But then I talked to Justin Thacker about it, who's an amazing weightlifting coach in St. Louis. Big shout out to Justin Thacker. We were talking about it one day. He's like, you know what? Probably why he does that is he's so fucking strong. If he just snatches, the work goes up a lot. He's going to use a lot more weight. He'll tear himself down a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So he's doing a max and a snatch every time you see him post on Instagram. But that max is a carefully selected max, novel. It's not going to beat him up that much.
Trying to make it more difficult without making it harder on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Saving
the
the
whole
joints a little
fucking
bit.
key, man.
Danny, being from the OPT camp, I know that there's a lot of tempo work there. Is that something that, you use to get stronger, or you guys, have you played around with a lot of other stuff too?
For me, I haven't used it as much because because of CrossFit, they're trying to dampen me and make me more aerobic.
So doing the tempo work is like a way to dampen that fast twitch a little bit.
No. So I haven't really, I never go heavy on the squats. I never go heavy on the cleans. I never really do anything heavy. When you see me do something heavy, like I did a 405 power clean a few months back, it was because we were coming into regionals and thought there were cleans.
Yeah.
I don't get the opportunity to go heavy because they're trying to dampen me for the sport of CrossFit,
right,
because I'm too powerful. So that's what's exciting about the NPFL. I actually get to lift weights now. Right? I've been like, oh no. Like they give me little tastes of it. Like I'll go, do some back squats at tempo. 20x1, which is 2 seconds on the eccentric, 0 at the bottom, explode up, 1 at the top. It's pretty. It's a normal tempo for most people.
I would love to see what they do targeting this now. Let's take what we've learned from this amazing experiment CrossFit. I mean, James had a hell of a successful streak.
Yeah.
Well-respected coach, amazing. We love him. I want to see what he would do if he could focus on this a little bit. Play with this idea.
We're about to see.
Let me tell you,
I'm fucking curious.
I've
man.
been doing some snatch pulls, and I haven't done snatch pulls in about 3 years. So I'm excited. I've been sore from some snatch pulls. I'm really excited about where this is going to go for me, because it's what I love. It's my essence. It's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not built to be long and
do it again.
And
this guy's double bicep.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Do you think
about to be aerobic?
Do you think you have bigger biceps?
Jesus!
Oh my
compare.
God.
I think Danny
I'm
wins.
actually worried because this wristband is so tight. If I go for the full flex, it's gonna pop off, and I might not be able to get back in. Yeah.
So
it's a real concern.
When I saw Danny, I was like, good God, he's huge. I thought we were gonna be about the same size.
Yeah.
And then
so
he tells me his weight, and he's like, yeah, I'm 240, and I'm like, that's quite a bit bigger than me.
How big are you?
I'm like I bounce around between 215 and 220.
Oh wow.
But then we took a picture yesterday, and I think the only difference is I'm tanner.
Yeah. It's like I got big guts.
Being tan adds muscle mass and removes fat visually.
So we're gonna go out to the pool after this, so he can.
Tan fat is.
I'm getting my
better than white
tan
fat.
on.
Yeah.
I need to get some more vitamin D. I've been taking it via the pill. I'm gonna go out and get that sun on.
Well done, dude.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get some tan on you, and then you'll look bigger, probably.
Or burn, whatever you want to call it.
Or melanoma, whatever.
Yeah, but that, like Sam was saying, like when I look at Sam, like, oh yeah, we're about the same size, and I've made that comment to other people, like, oh man, that guy's big, and then friends are like, no, you're huge. Like I'm like, oh yeah, people. There's like, oh, that guy's about my size. They're like, no. You haven't seen yourself on the live stream. Like you're huge. And they, the announcers at the regionals actually made comment like, this guy's out here, and I don't realize it because it's me, and it's
right.
And I see myself all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm 245 and. this kind of where it's at. I'm like, I think I got
You
big,
got
big guts.
abs too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got the big abs, and I'm like, I got big guts though. I think I got big insides.
My mom
that's what makes me bigger.
My mom always thought I was like the biggest guy in the world until I brought some of my football buddies home.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not that big.
No,
Yeah.
no,
There's
no.
bigger
Yeah, that's
people.
that's
between
the
like
thing.
being around strongman meets and like college football, I realized, big doesn't mean like anything. Like I
No.
played football with a guy. Like, the whole starting off as a line was at least the shortest guy was 6'3", the biggest guy was 6'8", like 370. Like what ran his conditioning drills with the linebackers.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see something like that, you're like, well, fuck, everything I knew is different now.
Yeah.
To your guys' knowledge, is there anyone bigger than Danny that qualified for regionals?
This year,
Yeah.
no. I'd say the biggest CrossFitter I've shaken hands with was John Wellborn. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, John's
Yeah.
just a monster man.
yeah. And so that guy's just
So I might
A
have
giant.
the record as biggest CrossFitter
regionally qualified.
John may be
Yeah.
a guy who.
Can we get someone on that?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's somebody out there that trust me.
Yeah.
There are people out there that follow all the stats.
We're gonna
all
need
the
an
time.
official weigh-in though.
So you
for
weigh
sure.
what?
About 245.
245. So that stat exists. They can download that off the
Yeah.
game site or something
In
like
all
that.
fairness to John, I would say he was a professional football player who retired. He got involved in CrossFit, had fun doing it. I don't know if I would have called him a
Well,
CrossFitter.
he did compete in the
competed.
CrossFit Games early on,
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
when it was a little bit easier to get in.
2008
Yeah.
or so, and he did pretty good. I mean, astonishingly well considering that was not his wheelhouse.
Was
I
it
mean,
2007 and 2008?
That's why
I think.
in my coach, you got to definitely have to give it to James Fitzgerald, who competed,
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
first,
yeah.
and now he's back.
Yeah.
He's back, and he's made as a masters athlete. I'm really
Oh, wow,
excited
cool, man.
to watch him.
So
him
first year
compete.
Games athlete champion. And now
Yes,
he's
sir.
going to come to NPFL. Maybe you guys will win the
Oh, yeah.
first whatever we'll call it. I
Yeah.
don't think we've named the championship yet.
Yeah.
what
So-
would you like to see the trophy be at the end of the championship thing? What should they
what
hand
should it
out?
look like?
Yeah. Should be
Yeah, I mean,
a chrome bottle of Jack Daniels.
I'll tell you
Or
what,
should it be
one of the coolest like prizes I've ever gotten for a competition was it was a demon kettlebell. That
yeah.
was they painted it gold.
Oh, the demon bell.
and a bottle of Jameson.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you
Not
wonder
bad.
why we're dangerous together outside the grid.
And that was the first competition
Yeah.
I did with my wife too, so that was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Oh, cool, man.
Wow. All right,
Yeah,
guys, we're
yeah.
going to wrap this up. If people want to learn more about you, Danny, we'll let you go first. Is there a website they should check out? Do you have a Twitter handle? Or
You know,
What do you got?
I probably got a Twitter that I set up a long time ago. I don't even.
You should do it now, man.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
start paying attention to you with
I
this
don't
whole
even
thing.
know it. It's maybe the Danny Nichols. I think. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't. I gotta get. And that's something that Sam's gonna help me with. I think.
Yeah, dude, you gotta.
shoot us, tweet at us when you finally figure it
Yeah.
out, and we'll retweet you.
Yeah. I think my Instagram is Danny Nichols 33, but it's something I don't even
I think
know.
it's got a catchy nickname. Like
Yeah.
You do have a catchy name.
Tiny D.
yeah.
Yeah. Tiny. That's Sammy D. Yeah.
All right.
Sam.
Where can we find you, Sam?
Just Sam Dancer on the Facebook and at Sam Dancing on Instagram, and that's kind of where I hang out at is the Instagram. I think it's a
At
great
Sam
way to
Dancer.
just
Instagram is the shit. I'll be
just
honest.
great way to kind of keep in touch with all the friends, family, and fans.
I
And
think-
It's a
stuff.
super good way to share like training videos and coaching
Yeah.
advice too. Right?
Mhm.
Surprisingly good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Sam and I are gonna have to get our shared Instagram together.
I want to see shit
Yeah.
Instagram shit talking back. Like,
What are
what
we
the
gonna-
fuck I did
what are we
today,
gonna
homie?
call
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
What are we gonna call
I
that?
don't know.
Just probably Tiny Dan, Tiny D,
Tiny D.
It's Instagram bro down.
Yeah.
Be 2D.
Yeah.
2 D's, double
Yeah,
D's.
Yeah.
Tiny double D's.
Oh shit.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Yeah.
having us, guys. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Thanks,
guys.
dudes.
Definitely.
Make sure to go to
Appreciate it.
barbellshrug.com, sign up for the newsletter, and we'll send you only amazing emails.
Cheers.
Yeah.
To learn more about how you can support the show, go to barbellshrug.com and sign up for the newsletter.